Hey there friends, Russell with the rbgroup over at Live 38 Real Estate, coming to you with another market update. So really quick, for the last few months, as to be expected for the winter months, the holiday season, we have seen our inventory coming down. We are still technically in a seller's market, but very, very near what we'd consider to be a balanced market. We've got about 4 months of inventory with less and less listings coming on the market. Again, that's kind of to be expected for this time of year. As everyone's celebrating the holidays, it's been colder, not a lot of people come to visit the beach, so this is what we consider our slow season. With that being said, we are starting to see mortgage rates start to normalize. We've been seeing a lot of up and down, and that makes buyers very apprehensive to make any kind of moves, because the last thing you want to do is get locked in at 7%, only for it to come down, down to 5.5 a week later, which we have seen happen. So totally understandable on their end. But what's important to note is that in our market, especially as it slows down, it's important to note that we have a primary market and we have a secondary market. So we have a wants market and a needs market. And these are two very important distinctions. So a lot of people, a lot of places around the country that are seeing their housing market do something completely different than ours, it's because that's a primary market. Those are people that need to sell a house, that they need to buy a house. Here we have a lot of investment properties. So we have a lot of want properties. We have people with expendable income. They want to invest here, and they probably bought at a better rate than the rates are at now. That being said, they probably see some appreciation, but they don't need to sell. That has stayed the same. Sellers don't need to sell right now. Now, with that being said, we still see some appreciation from last year, but in general, we're really not that far apart. We really have sort of stabilized recently. Now, something that I am interested to find out what happens is, as our spring break season starts to kick into gear, as our tourism season starts to kick into gear, as the weather starts warming up, and more people come down here and they're reminded how much they love it and they don't want to leave, the buyer interest is going to go through the roof. And another thing to note that's very important is this area, if you haven't been here within the last 6 months, I would say, you are going to be overwhelmed with how much development has been going on in our area. The amount of infrastructure, the amount of new neighborhoods, the amount of new amenities. We have so many things happening in the South Walton area along the 38 corridor between the Bay and the Gulf. It is unbelievable how much is happening. And I believe that as people start to get their eyes and bear witness to it, the desire is going to go back up. Now, what's going to be interesting to see is, because sellers don't need to sell and because our inventory is low, what that's going to mean for prices. I think we're going to see a condition where sellers are going to be even more incentivized again because of the scarcity. People are going to want the properties. Mortgage financing rates will stabilize, so there's not going to be as much fear of making a move in terms of financing. And I think we're going to see prices start to shimmy up again, because the desire for the property is going to be there, but there's not going to be enough inventory. So that being said, sellers, if you own a property out here, there is definitely going to be an opportunity. There already is one already exists, but there is going to continue to be an opportunity in the coming months as buyer demand likely increases as we get more tourism traffic here. Now, on the buyer's side of things, as I mentioned, mortgage rates have stabilized. They're somewhere between 5 and 6 right now, depending on the type of mortgage program you're using. And our list to sale ratio is somewhere around 95%. So, whatever the list price is, the selling price is probably going to be about 95% of that. So a pretty well-priced market. Now, as far as the primary housing market is concerned, it has always and will continue to benefit from the secondary market. This is a very unique area. Obviously, this is not, so go an hour north of here, you will not see the same effects on the market. Considering the COVID era, the post-COVID era, with all the remote workers and all the people that started businesses and realized that they can move their families and their work wherever they want to, so they might as well make it somewhere beautiful. And what place is more beautiful than here? I'm sure there are some, but there's not many. So we are still seeing a huge demand in long-term housing here. That's why St. Joe is doing so much development. Watersound Origins, Point Washington, north of 98, still continues to develop. And we're seeing so many more apartment complexes pop up in the neighboring areas because the demand for affordable long-term housing is definitely there. Not everyone needs an 8-bedroom mansion near the beach. So that housing market is thriving. That being said, with with the market cooling down, sort of stabilizing, getting towards a more balanced area, we have seen more and more price adjustments. But I think that's a necessary ingredient because primary housing cannot afford to see the same level of appreciation. It's going to completely muscle out buyers. It's great for people that own, but your equity is only worth something if somebody's willing to pay for it. So it's good to see that kind of stabilize and mellow out for a little while things catch up. Now with financing rates again stabilizing, I think we're going to see more and more people who have been wanting to make a move, to want to move here, really start to consider their options when it comes to that. So again, excited to see how that's impacted in the coming months. And also looking way ahead, I'm excited to see what's going to happen in the fall months, just particularly before school starts and how that primary housing market is affected. So that's your update for January. I am so excited to see what happens in the coming month, especially with the first spring break starting, I think, around the second week of March. So it's really going to be interesting to see what happens this summer. So as always, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself or Blaine. We are so grateful for the opportunity to serve this amazing community and to serve all of you. We really value the relationships we get to have with all of you. So always reach out anytime you have a comment, question, anything. And a big thank you to Blaine for aggregating all this data and digesting it and throwing it over to me so that I can deliver it to you. I hope all of you have an amazing day. I hope that you and your families are blessed, and take care. We'll see you next time.